Is the current heavyweight division actually one of the weaker divisions in boxing at the moment? I would say yes. We've just seen Dylan White, who I never really much believed in that much. We saw him get starched by a totally past it Alexander Povetkin. And the top three guys, the guys who were supposed to make it a golden era, which many people have been banging on about now for years, this golden era that's never actually happened. We've only seen one combination of those top three guys. And we might still yet see an unnecessary rubber match between Fury and Wilder. To me, the combination that has already resolved itself, we know that Fury is the better man. Wilder is now at an age where he might be retiring soon. He may only have 1-2 fights left maximum. We're in a position where the prospect of AJ and Fury, the biggest fight in boxing, might not happen next year. And the prospect of Wilder AJ, which would have been a really fun shootout at heavyweight, that's probably never going to happen. In order for an era to be great, to be golden, it's all very well having the principals there who look great in the division. A division can be stacked, but unless they fight each other, it doesn't count for anything. Wilder was WBC champ, I think, in January of 2015. Later in the same year, Fury basically became the man. And then when he left, depression, semi-retirement, AJ picked up one of the fractured titles in 2016. But look at that 2016 still, when the last champ came along. All that time has passed, and we've only had one of the combinations of those three guys. We're not sure if we're going to get AJ Fury next year, and we're never going to get AJ Wilder. So much for all this talk of golden era. Golden eras have to have progression. I've said this before. They have to have a consistent narrative. That's why you continue reading stories. You get engaged in it. If it's too boring, you throw it away. Same with the film. We need to have consistency here. That's what Ben Eubank and Michael Watson had over here in the UK in the middleweights in the 90s. Take any great era. That's what that era will have had. It will have had consistency. The meaningful fights would have happened in the time frame they had to happen to be meaningful. All these guys now at heavyweight are into their 30s. Wilder is getting on. He's maybe got 1-2 fights left in his career maximum before he retires. You know, the way he's talking and brought up these allegations, this is a guy who hasn't got very long, I don't think, left in the sport at all. We need to see some kind of consistency. A strong end to this era, whatever it is, would be if we got somehow 2 fights between Fury and AJ. But the way things are, and throw in the problems with COVID as well, it's 50-50 for me whether we see AJ Fury next year. The skeptic in me just kind of doubts it. Maybe they'll just take a couple of mandatories and they'll argue about who deserves what money, and boom, another year's gone. At that point, are they even really at their peak anymore? Probably not. So again, this isn't to do with negativity. I'm trying to put light on a genuine problem that cripples loads of divisions. Too much time goes past, and we don't have this golden era that everyone keeps harping at. They say it to try and get your attention. That's why loads of people say it. That's why loads of videos like, this guy says this fight's going to happen now. Oh, let's check it out. No, it's not. Another year goes by. They just get older. Ali, Frazier and Foreman for every combination within 3.5 years. From March 1971 to October 1974, they'd all fought each other. That's what made it special. There was consistency. And while in the 1990s, there were a few fights that slipped through the crackwork. We never got Lewis against Bowe. We never saw Tyson against Holyfield in the early 90s. But still, looking at it as a whole, we got loads of great fights. That's part of what made the 1990s such a good heavyweight division. When you look back at Fury, Joshua and Wilder, there's just been mostly inactivity. The best fight of this era has been AJ against Klitschko. And Klitschko's not even part of this new era. He's part of the old era. It wasn't even a real championship fight. Do you see my point? You need to call out the bullshit here with golden era, this is going to happen, yada, yada, yada. We're always sold something before it actually happens. And the prices are going up on these pay-per-views as well. Like over here in the UK, AJ against Pulev is like 25 quid. That might not sound too bad to a lot of Americans, but for over here, it's just hiking it up all the time. And these aren't the fights we really want to see. More pressure needs to be put on people when they see it. We need to call out bullshit, because there's no chance that this is going to be a golden era of heavyweights. We're in a position now where we're just hoping that we're going to get Fury against AJ.